Yo, what's good, family? Charles Smith back with another one. Now listen, if you've been paying attention to everything that's been happening these last few days, then you already know something bigger is coming. A lot of people thought that post, that interview, that little response we saw earlier this week was the whole story. Nah, that was just the appetizer. You know when you go to a restaurant and before the main meal arrives, they bring out the wings, the mozzarella sticks, the fried shrimp. Yeah, that's what that was. The real meal, the main course, that big juicy steak, that lobster. That part is still coming. And that's exactly why the internet is starting to pay attention right now. Because people who have been following this situation closely know the story isn't over. Not even close. Everybody's looking at the clues. Everybody's watching the moves. And one thing keeps coming up over and over again. This person isn't finished talking. There's something else brewing behind the scenes. Now, before we get into all of that, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because we're covering everything happening in hip-hop culture, rap news, and the internet's biggest stories. And trust me, after what was just revealed, things might get very interesting.
Music coming at some point.
Oh, I mean, the hair to me indicates that there's music coming.
So
This is the first step in the Hove cuts his
My
hair
rollout.
before the album
It's a
drop.
rollout.
I've been saying the
rollout.
whole time that he's not putting an album out and nothing's coming out. I talked to somebody last night who's pretty close to it, and they said they couldn't give me any more evidence than I asked for, but they said it seems pretty certain now.
The hair thing is a great point.
Yeah.
The hair did it for me.
The hair did it for me, but then I heard somebody who's working on the album allegedly saying that it's coming out.
Now, Mark isn't the only person who believes Jay-Z has more coming. But hold on, because this is where things get interesting. Yesterday, Jim Jones jumped on his show and sent a message to everybody that got mentioned in that freestyle. We're talking Drake, we're talking Dame Dash, we're talking anybody who felt like Hove was sending shots their way. According to Jim Jones, what we heard at the Roots picnic might have just been the beginning. And that's a pretty big statement coming from him because y'all already know Jim Jones has shown Drake a lot of love over the years. He's never been shy about giving Drake his flowers. But even with that being the case, Jim had to keep it real. In his opinion, Hove isn't done yet. There's more coming. And when somebody like Jim Jones starts talking like that, people start paying attention because it makes you wonder what exactly is going on behind the scenes. Is there really an album on the way? Is Jay-Z getting ready to address even more people? Or does he have something even bigger planned? Well, here's exactly what Jim Jones had to say.
An anniversary 3-night concert at Yankee Stadium over the summer. Well, Jim, you were out there. You didn't get to see the show, but you saw the
didn't
aftermath.
get to see the show. I saw the aftermath. I've heard about it. Shouts to Hove. You know, Hove is the GOAT. And I'm going to say Drake is a GOAT also. But Hove is the super GOAT. You heard? It's GOAT. GOATs is funny, so I always want to see where I'm at with this. But Hove is ultimately the greatest of all time for what he's accomplished, from where he started to where he's at. He's always set the barrier. He always broke his own barriers. Absolutely the most wealthiest person we've seen come out of the hip-hop industry as far as an artist in all of his business endeavors. He's married to the most powerful woman in the world. He has put on an absolute phenomenal, legendary run for us. And I think that him coming out on stage at the Roots picnic was absolutely incredible. I will say this, out of everything I've heard. From my experiences and seeing him engage throughout the years, he spared them a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
People were trying to decipher all these type of things, but the freestyle was absolutely dope. Right. But even with that, for me, knowing what he has done and how he spared them and he spared them lightly with the flow. He didn't even hit them with too much of the but he still managed to obliterate a lot of people into whatever. But let's see what happens. You know,
well,
call outs are call outs. You know, you say somebody's name, it goes on forever, no matter who starts it.
Jay's so calculated. So he came out real light because we know where we could go. with it, okay? So he did spare them, but I just love how like Jay-Z bars are just so elevated. Like you really have to like stop, listen to them, and you still are learning as you continue to listen.
But that's also an acquired taste, because that was a thing that we are so familiar to.
Yeah.
You understand? It's decoding these rhymes and throughout the music. I believe this generation doesn't really get that the way we get that. And we can't be mad at that, because they have their own music that they listen to and they understand it the way that they understand it. You heard? But as a fan, decoding music has always been
that's the vibe with me.
That's like the top notch.
That's what bars are.
Yeah.
I want to see the Yankee Stadium freestyle. I think that's when it's going to turn up. The Roots Picnic was cool.
This is the beginning,
but I do believe
this is the beginning.
The Yankee Stadium freestyle
This is the beginning.
will be something like Martin Luther King. I have a dream.
So now we officially got a chess match going on between some of the biggest names in hip hop. If you're Drake right now, you probably have a rough idea of when to expect some kind of response from Jay-Z. Hov's Yankee Stadium shows are coming up next month in July. That means Drake and his team have a little over 4 weeks to figure out their next move. The question is, do you strike first? Do you drop a record letting Jay know you heard everything he said at the Roots Picnic? Or do you play it smart and sneak your shots into a feature on somebody else's song? Because let's be real, nobody expects Drake to drop an entire Scary Hours 4 project aimed at Jay-Z. Now there's also another option. Drake could completely ignore it, act like none of this ever happened, and keep it moving. But honestly, just like I've been telling y'all, his pride and his competitive nature probably won't let him do that. After dropping multiple projects, putting up major numbers, and climbing right back to the top of the Billboard charts, Drake probably feels like the momentum is finally swinging back in his favor. He feels like he's got the ball again. Now, if you're Jay-Z, you still have the element of surprise. Do you drop a record? Do you surprise everybody with an album before those Yankee Stadium shows? Do you wait until the perfect moment and catch everybody off guard? Nobody really knows. Now, I gotta be honest with y'all. The Martin Luther King comparison Jim Jones made might have been a little bit of a stretch, but I understand what he was trying to say. Every time Hov steps on a stage, he knows how to create a moment. He knows how to command attention. He knows how to make people talk. And that's exactly why so many people believe this story isn't over yet. But now I want to hear from y'all. What do you think about Jim Jones warning Drake and everybody else who caught shots in that freestyle? Do y'all believe Hov still has more coming? And if you were in Drake's camp, what's your next move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's your boy Charles Smith. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.